here at Bonjour Library on June 20th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, interviewing Dr. Peter Chang for the Houston Asian American Archive. My name is Priscilla Lee.
My name is Chelsea Wen.
Okay, and we'll start out. Dr. Chang, where and when were you born?
Well, I was born in Taipei, Taiwan, which is the Republic of China, back in 1952.
And can you describe what your childhood was like?
Well, of course, my parents, of course, came from the mainland China when the communists took over back then. It was tough, I think, for everybody, because the whole country was in pretty poor shape, just starting another new country at another new place. So I think it was tough. My father was an editor in the newspaper, so it wasn't a place. I think we live a reasonably fair life. Okay, comfortable life. Certainly not luxurious anything. Yeah. But I think we have a lot of good memories there. I think back then, I went to a elementary school. I actually in the we live in the suburban area. Actually, back then it's all like farming in that area. So we have a lot of fun together, playing, exploring the farm or the rivers. Yeah.
And you have an older brother. Correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And how much older is he?
A couple years.
A couple years. Okay. And your parents came from Fujian?
Yes.
Fujian? Okay. And what languages did they speak to you?
Well, of course, we all speak Mandarin. I think Fujian, they came over from the northern part of Fujian, so it's a very different kind of dialect than the usual Fujianese they speak. I think just Fujian province, there are 200 different dialects. You cross a mountain, it's a different dialect. So I think only people in the region will be able to speak that dialect.
And how long were you in Taiwan?
So I was there until I was 10 years of age. Then I left there.
Where did you move to?
Well, after being in the newspaper, being a reporter and then an editor, my dad's major is actually in diplomacy. So he eventually went back to be with the State Department.
Okay.
So that's his first assignment was in the Philippines. So we went to Philippines.
And how long were you in the Philippines?
So I stayed there for about 5 years, which is a good thing because Philippines, of course, they do have a Chinese school. Okay, so I was able to keep up with my Chinese. And then after being there for 5 years, then his next assignment was in Lima, Peru. So we went over to Lima, Peru, where I graduated from high school.
Okay. How did you feel like moving from a different country to different country?
Well, it has its pluses and minuses. I think the pluses is you get to experience different cultures, meet different people, learn different languages. But I think the minuses is, you just made a group of friends and then suddenly you have to live there and move to a totally new place. You have to adapt to a totally new language, new culture. So I think you have to be highly adaptable to be in that kind of environment. So I think you just need to focus on the positives rather than the negatives, and then you enjoy it.
Okay. And so when you were in Peru, how long did you guys stay there?
We stayed there for 3 years.
Okay. So you were 18?
Yes.
Okay. And then you went to Rice University?
That's correct. So my brother was here at Rice at the time. So that's a logical place for me to go. Mhm.
And how did he get to know about Rice?
Well, he actually finished high school in the Philippines. He's about to graduate, so we kind of left him there to finish the last year instead of going all the way to Peru, since it'll be kind of difficult to make that transition. So he actually finished high school there, and then he applied for college in the United States, and he got into Rice. Yeah.
Can you describe like how life was different between the different countries?
As far as which ones?
I guess like
Been
the
to too many.
neighborhood. You've been to the ones that stood out to you. How the neighborhood was like. The foods you ate.
Comparing here and
Any countries that stood out to you.
they're all different. I mean, every country I've been in, and we've been in a lot of countries over the years. No, I think they're all different, and that's what's nice about in this world. You got to experience different things. We really have no problem. We love to try new things. So new cuisine, new special recipes from a particular country. We love to do it. So it's different, but we love the difference. Mm-hmm.
And did your parents still instill like Chinese traditions, even though you guys were in different countries?
No, my parents are very different from most parents. There's no tiger mom or or whatever. No, they come by Chinese standard. They are very liberal. Not liberal, not in the sense of politics. Liberal in the sense they really let us do what we want to do. They never will specifically say, you need to go to medical school. We love you to do that. You need to go to whatever. They are totally up to us. They will support whatever we decide to do.
Okay.
Yeah. So which is very unusual at that age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what was your mom's profession?
No, my mom never. That's the time of the war. So she finished high school, and the war broke out. So my dad and my mom got married right after she graduated from high school, and then he begin the process of retreating to Taiwan. So he just she never went. She is a housewife and mom all her life. Yeah.
So what were some of the hobbies that you grew up enjoying to do?
We love to travel. I love to read. I love to write. And that's pretty much it. I love dramatic plays, and that's why I funded the drama club here. Uh-huh.
And you said you were able to pick up a lot of languages. Was Spanish one of them?
Yeah, I think basically Chinese, Spanish, and English. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And did you have a religious upbringing?
Well, we went to a Christian high school, so we were basically a Christian. So I think my parents do not have any more Buddhist. So I'm probably considered a Christian. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you said you did mention how your parents are very liberal. But like I guess what aspects of like career-wise were you leaning towards in high school or like as you were growing up?
No, they really never force us into any particular profession. or major. Actually, initially, I want to go to philosophy rather than when I go to college. But actually, I applied to Rice as a physics major. But after being here for 1 year, I decided physics is not for me, so I switched to biochemistry.
Mm-hmm. Okay. As you're moving from like country to country, did you have any expectations before moving there?
Expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course, you read about it. You have visions of what it will be like, but the reality is always very different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think it's different in a nice sort of way. Okay, so no, I think we're never fearful of moving to a new place, since we're so used to that.
Mm-hmm.
So we do kind of look forward as a new experience, a new challenge.
Okay. What were some of the like nice culture shocks that you experienced? Like things you found, like that you liked about the country, any country that you've been to?
What I like about it?
Yeah, like what surprised you and was like a positive thing?
Well, I think any place, of course, each country has its own specific culture and scenery, but I think the bottom line is always its people. I think its people is most priceless possession. So I think it's learning how other people live and how their lives are influenced by their specific culture and tradition, and we're able to interact with each other and then become friends and learn from each other. I think that's the thing I enjoy the most.
And you said so your brother had gone to Rice, and you said that was the logical thing to do is to also go to Rice. Were you like debating other colleges?
You know, actually, back then the government basically guaranteed the children of diplomats that you have a space in the national university in Taiwan. So actually, I was accepted to the National Taiwan University, which is the most prestigious university back then, as a physics major. But I applied to Rice as well, and then Rice gave me a tuition grant, so I decided I'd just go to Rice then.
Okay. And when you were at Rice, was your brother also at Rice, or
Yes.
he? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So did you go to the same residential college as him?
Yeah, we actually did. We were both at Will Rice.
Oh, Rice. Okay. And you said you were first a physics major. What made you change to biochemistry?
What prompted?
Yeah, what prompted you to change to biochemistry?
Oh, the physics just too dry for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And what was Rice like when you were here?
I don't know. It's I love the campus. I was saying it's very nice. It does take some time to adapt to it, because that's the first time I really live in America, and people does interact in different ways. Okay, so it took me some time to adapt to it, but so it's life. So once you adapt to it, you're just one of the many. Mm-hmm.
So can you give us like, some examples of what you had to adapt to?
I think academically, probably because there's you go to the previous your previous schooling. Usually, it's always taking exam, passing it, grading it, that's going. But in Rice, what struck me is you have a lot of projects. So it get you to, so you're not just learning what's in the book, remembering it, doing great on the exam and getting A's. You're actually having forced you to think, to read other books other than the textbook, and actually knowing what's going on in the world in order to get and working with others in order to get a project done. So I think that's what makes America successful, is they allow you to really use your creativity and to try that more innovative way of dealing with the same problem.
So what were some interesting classes that you took here that stood out? Some interesting classes?
Some interesting classes. Actually, the one I loved the most was a psychology course. It's a psychology on abnormal behavior, why people act different from what most people do, what is the underlying psychological reason, or So I thought that was pretty interesting because it kind of gave me an insight on the behavior of people, which always amazes me, right? Because every one of us is so unique in our ways.
So you mentioned this briefly before the interview, but I guess back then there wasn't as many Asian Americans at Rice.
Yeah, I'll bet you can. Most of them are actually graduate students. There are far more graduate students that's Asian American descent than undergraduate. Undergraduate, you probably can count with my two hands back then. So when we get together, it's always the undergraduate and the graduate get together. Mm-hmm.
So were most of them Chinese students? Or?
Yeah, I would say back then most of them are Chinese.
Okay.
And most of them are from Taiwan.
Mm-hmm. So I guess which demographic of students did you tend to befriend, or was it like a diverse array of friends?
I think initially, because my brother is already here, okay, and he gets along with all the graduate students. Mm-hmm. I think it's because we are proposed to most undergraduate Chinese American students at that time. We still do speak Mandarin very well. Mm-hmm. While most others, they may speak some or they may not. And most of them, either were born here or they came here into high school or middle school years. So they are more immersed in American culture. So I say in the beginning we actually we get along very well with the many people older than us, the graduates as Chinese Asian American graduate students. We actually eventually I moved out of the dorm. My second year, actually, we share a house with other Chinese American graduate students. So we know them very well. The undergraduate, we know a lot of them are still here. She's so fun, Frank Liu, they're all here. So we all know them quite well, yeah.
What kind of activities were you involved in at Rice?
Let's see, what kind of activity? I don't think the school activities were involved in any specific thing. So I'm mainly involved in with the Chinese Student Association. I actually am more involved in a lot of activities outside the school at that time. So even the drama school, it's really not part of school. Okay, so I was the editor for one of the Chinese magazines there back then. Back then is when there's a lot of student involvement. Because I think the the Japanese was to take over the one island close to Taiwan. So a lot of student involvement. That's also a time I think the Taiwanese government was kicked out of the United Nations. So nationwide, all the Chinese students kind of get together from different organizations. In the southern United States, we have a very big organization which basically involves all the Chinese students in the southern states. And then we have regular meetings, and we establish a magazine which was distributed to all the Chinese students in these southern states. So I was editing the magazine, editor of the magazine back then. Yeah. So that took up really most of my time. So most of my involvement was really outside the school at that time. So we also did establish the first summer camp for Chinese students back then. We did that, our first one in Dallas, and then we did several more years after that. Yeah.
And the magazine was called Southern Monthly?
Yes.
And what kind of topics did you guys have?
Well, basically, of course, you always got some political articles to comment on the current event, but a lot of others are articles by overseas Chinese about their experience inter life here, either while they were in school or after school, advices as to how to adapt to the new culture, and just prose, meaning novels, novellas, they're all included. Yeah.
And it was all in English? Did you have any?
No, it's all in Chinese.
Oh, all in Chinese.
Yeah,
oh,
it's
okay.
not English.
Okay. Yeah. So it was directed towards newly immigrated Chinese.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was it for any age of Chinese people? Was it for like college students or?
Well, back then the students here are mostly graduate students. So
Okay.
mostly it's just graduate students everywhere, and who can read Chinese still and speak Chinese. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I had a question about the summer camp. Like, what was the topic of the summer camp?
I think it's just really for fun and for us to get to know each other. Okay, I mean, back then, of course, the students from Taiwan dominated the graduate programs here in the States, just like now the people from China that dominated it. So there are a lot of students in all these universities everywhere, even in Texas. Every little university actually got Chinese students, but they're so isolated. I mean, the school may have only 2 or 3 people from Taiwan. So I think we just decided to give everybody a chance to kind of come together and know each other, okay, and kind of get some network going on, so in the future they can help each other out. So I think it's a lot of things. Again, it will have topics. Some people, we invite some speakers to talk about certain topics, but I think most of it just fun games together, and just getting to know each other type of deal. About 2 days in duration, I think, usually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So like how you like organize these things to like connect Asian Chinese Americans, but did you find any resources here that helped you like acclimate to the U.S., or was this the reason why you set these camps up? Like, for example?
No, it's not because I have any difficulty. I think I'm much easier to adapt and acclimatize to the new culture than most people, since I've been moving around the world at a very young age. But I think this also is so it's really, this is a common complaint we heard, because being in that organization, we kind of going around and to kind of talk to people in different colleges about the ongoing topic. And then one of the major feedback we get from them is they feel they're so isolated. They just don't see other people from similar background, and they wish there's a venue that they can get to know others. So I think that's what's kind of started the idea about a summer camp.
And so you graduated from Rice with a bachelor's in biochemistry, and then what prompted you to get a PhD in biochemistry?
Well, that's because I kind of started my research in my at the end of my junior year. So this research is already going on for more than a year, and so I saw it kind of wasteful to kind of let it go. So I decided just to stay and finish the research.
Okay.
And got my PhD in the meantime.
Okay. And then how did you, or I guess, what was like the environment like in the lab? Like, did you have a mentor or other graduate students who you worked with?
Oh yeah. We have that's a much more relaxing to be in the graduate school. Okay, you pretty much do it at your own pace. The courses are fewer, and they really don't care what time you do your research. A lot of times, several of us will just come here in the midnight. We just work from midnight until early dawn, and go have breakfast together. So you really make some good friends there, and so I think it's a very relaxing time for my life, and give me more time to do other things that I love to do. So I think it's great. Yeah.
Okay. And while you were getting your PhD, was this also when you started the drama club, or was that during your undergraduate years?
No. I think it started. I think we have that concept in the last year of my undergraduate, but I think really we fully implemented. I think when I started graduate school.
Okay. And then you also founded the Chinese Classical Instrumental Music Society. Was that an offshoot of the drama club, or was that a separate?
No,
thing?
that's a kind of not in the plan. It's I think there is a performance group that came from Taiwan. They performed. After they performed, they decided to leave the instruments.
Wow.
And she in Houston. So they asked me to what should we do with these instruments? I said, well, why don't we? That's you don't want to just live there and rotten. Why don't we just form a club? And so we started that, and the toughest part is really finding people to play. That's too many instruments. We find many people that'll play this and that, but some of the others, you just never find the right person to play it, or who is play it well enough. Nowadays, it's probably no problem. There's so many Chinese American in Houston area, but back then we're kind of limited. But still, we got to perform quite a few times, and so that was a kind of a not something I purposely planned to do. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So did you play an instrument?
I played the flute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it the Chinese flute or the
Chinese flute?
The Chinese flute.
Yeah.
Okay. And were most of these people in these programs like Chinese, like newly immigrated people, or like people who were like first, second generation Chinese Americans or Asian Americans?
You mean for the classical?
Yeah, the classical or the drama club.
No, the drama club. You have to. It's a is the first Mandarin speaking
Oh, okay.
drama in southern United States. So no, so everybody has to know how to speak Mandarin to be in the performance in the play. So no, so I think that actually have no problem. There are actually several people here who actually major in drama back in Taiwan. They may now here and study different major, okay, accounting or whatever. But of course, since they major in drama in college, they've been involved with that. So we actually have no problem finding very experienced actors or actresses for the play.
Okay.
So it was quite a fabulous performance, yeah.
Great. And then you got your PhD in biochemistry, and then what prompted you to go to medical school?
But once I'm in the research, I decided research is really not what I want to do for the rest of my life. Initially, my plan is to being academic, to teach and to do research, being a professor. But after doing research all the time, I find it maybe boring is not a word, but it's you spend so much of your life for a result that does not really have a major impact, okay? And so I'm just you have to enjoy what you're doing, whatever the outcome is. So if I don't even enjoy what I'm doing and the outcome is not that impressive, okay? I mean, the research, unless really back then we look at the metabolism of cholesterol. So it's really we're just trying to figure out some of the steps during that whole process. So we figure out the steps. I mean, eventually you have a impact in making the medication for people with high cholesterol, which it did. But that time it's purely academic. It's you really have no idea how it's going to affect anybody's lives back then. So I just don't feel satisfying doing research and doesn't feel whatever the outcome is. So it takes 3 or 4 years to come out with something. You publish a few papers, but you really don't feel like you accomplished very much in those 4 years. So that's why I start to look around. So I think medicine is attractive to me because you can make a difference right away. And that's why I'm attracted to cardiology, because people are having heart attack, you can fix that right away and make an impact. And I think that's satisfying to me.
Okay. And so you wanted to stay in Houston for your medical degree?
Not necessarily, but that would be the most logical choice. Since there's a medical school, a couple of medical schools in Houston. If I can go to one of them, I don't even have to move from my apartment. Everything will be the same. And I think there's also advantages to stay to go to UT, since the in-state, the tuition was quite high for most medical schools. But Texas, even the out-of-state tuition at that time was $900, which is way, way lower than most other medical schools elsewhere. Mm-hmm.
So how's the environment like at medical school? Like, how's the demographics of the students?
Again, it's very different than now. Now, 20 to 30% are Asian Americans in medical school. Out of the class of 120 students, there are 5 of us. That's Chinese Americans. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and 4 of us are still here in Houston. Yeah.
So throughout your, I guess, like up to this point, had you experienced any discrimination for being Asian American or Asian?
Yeah, I don't think I have experienced any overt discrimination, but I think you always get you can sense it because in a group discussion, some people just ignore you, okay, and we know they are doing that purposely. Mm-hmm. And when another people, Caucasian speak, they will focus on what he says. So I think you can sense that here and there, but I think but once you're good yourself, then I don't think you encounter that. Then people kind of respect you. They I think discrimination is less of an issue. Mm-hmm.
And then you got your a PhD in a doctorate in public health. Is this?
No, I never fully completed the thesis. While I was going to through. I think that's why I was going to residency, right? Mm-hmm. Internal medicine. That's after. So after medical school, I feel. Public health is an area you really can make a lot of impact because you make one change that can affect the lives of so many. So I decided to do. Actually, initially I was trying to do a Master of Public Health and finish that in a couple of years. But then the professor said, "Oh, you should go for a Doctor of Public Health with your experience." So that was probably a mistake, and so I finished all the courses, start my thesis, but then I start to the residency really start to become crazy. You really don't have the time, so I probably completed my thesis maybe 2/3 of the way, but I never fully completed it, and so we just let it ride. Huh? But the knowledge you gain from the courses are very beneficial.
Yes. And then from 1981 to 82, you had an internship. Mm-hmm. What was that? Was that in internal medicine?
Yeah, it's you got right. Yeah, so 3-year internal medicine. Yeah.
Okay. And how did you choose internal medicine?
Well, that's because I want to go into cardiology.
Okay.
So in order to go into cardiology, which is a subspecialty of internal medicine, mm-hmm. you have to finish a residency in internal medicine before you can go to subspecialty, mm-hmm. whether it's cardiology, gastroenterology, or whatever.
Okay. And what did your parents think of as you were getting your PhD and then going on to medical school? Were they supportive of you?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. They're just always asking how many degrees do you want to get before you go out to the real world. Yeah, but no, they are fully supportive. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
Okay. Did you face were there any difficulties that you faced throughout your education?
Not really. Mm-hmm. I think I never have any problems with academics, and so I'm very organized and manage my time extremely well. So even during the college, I decided not to depend on my parents. So I even part-time I deliver a newspaper 5 o'clock in the morning every day for a year. So you just learn to so it's not really to get money, but my parents are fully has more resource than needed to support me, but I just want to make it on my own. Yeah. So I think that you really have to manage your time well and survive on a really limited sleep.
And And then after you finished your fellowship in cardiology, you went straight into private practice? Or?
No, after I finished my fellowship, I joined a clinic called the Ledbetter Clinic, which is the oldest group practice in Houston. As the cardiologist. So I stayed in that group for actually quite some time. I eventually became the president of that group, and at that time we grown to I think 20-some physicians in the group. But eventually a lot of them got old to retire, so we just decided to split up. Mm-hmm.
So were there any other Asian American physicians in the group?
There was a Korean American in the group.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how it works, but did you apply to be a part of the group, or they sought you out?
Oh no! It's just like any job. You basically apply,
okay.
And they interview, and they decided who to pick. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So you worked there for at least 14 years, over a decade.
It's longer than that. We started out the Ledbetter Clinic.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, we changed our name to Summit Medical Group.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's actually the same group.
Okay.
We just changed the name when we expanded the number of physicians in the group.
And what type of patients did you normally see?
Well, I'm a cardiologist,
Yeah.
so I mainly see patients with heart problems.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
And the demographics of these patients?
Oh, I'll say my patients, I'll say probably is 70% Caucasian, 25% either Hispanic American or Black Americans, and probably less than 5% is Asian American. Yeah.
And then, can you walk us through what you did after leaving the group practice? I think you went into a hospital system.
No. So after the retirement of several people, all within the same year, so we decided it's not viable to continue the group. So we just split up amicably. I don't know what year that's about. It must be at least 10 or 12 years ago. But anyway, so no, at that time I just went solo. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how was that? Did you I don't know, solo practice versus group, or is it?
Oh, I find out practicing being your own boss is 10 times better. You haven't tried to govern a group of physicians. Physicians are fiercely independent. When you got 21 physicians that's fiercely independent, you try to get everybody to come to a consensus. It's just crazy. So first of all, the group practice, especially since I'm the president, so it's a lot of headaches. So many administrative issues, personnel issues you have to deal with day-to-day basis. And secondly, you want to do some change. It's very difficult. You need to get everybody, a majority's consent before you can move forward. Once you're on your own, I can really don't do anything and do it right away. Mm-hmm. So if I want to increase somebody's salary, I can do that right away. I don't have to go through the whole group. So actually it's much easier. And so a lot of things I used to wanted to do, and now I can implement it right away. Mm-hmm.
So you enjoyed having your own business and dealing with that aspect?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chelsea, did you have any questions so far?
I wanted to ask you before, you kind of addressed this.
Mm-hmm.
When you moved to college, Did you find it really hard to be independent and live apart from your parents?
Of course, but I think it's less so for me. I think it's because my brother was here, so you still do see you still have a familiar connection. And you really. And it's probably just for the first month or two. I think you have so many things going on in your life. You quickly just immerse into your new life.
And I guess over your time in Houston, how do you think the racial dynamic has changed, or if you've noticed that?
The racial dynamics.
Yeah.
Well, I can say it's. I think it's like a roller coaster. I think it has been getting better and better. Okay, since I was here, but of course in the last few years, I think it's getting much worse. And partially secondary to the politics. I think just people are so partisan nowadays. It just which kind of boils down to the racial issue. So no, but I think there's definitely a change for the better. At least since the 70s. Yeah. We have a lot of Black American friends, Hispanic American friends, and you can tell the difference. They likewise felt the same way. Yeah.
Do you want me to keep asking questions?
Or did you? Yeah, I guess I can ask one more question, then I can turn it over to you.
Okay.
But I see how you're very involved with various committees
Mm-hmm.
while you're in the group practice. So what was it like being a part of those committees, and like how was it? Just like can you describe it?
No, the committees are pretty routine. I think once you practice, you know, for cardiologists, our practice is not just in office. A lot of it in the hospital. So if you do that, you are bound to be involved in a lot of committees, touching on a lot of aspects. Okay, so that's pretty normal for any physician. Some are just less active, and some are more active. I think since I was the head of the cardiology department at the hospital at that time, so they asked me to be involved in a lot of committees. Yeah. But I think it's more relevant is actually the fact I was appointed as I think it's the first Asian American to serve on the Harris County, which is very enjoyable. Yeah.
So how did you feel when you were notified of that?
It actually was a surprise. I didn't seek the job out. Okay. Although we know the commissioner well, who's the one who does the appointment. I think he just decided he goes to a large Asian American event. So and he always wanted to have a Asian American on that because we've never had one before. He said Asian American is a growing population in the Houston area, so he always wanted to appoint one. And then it just happened that year that they do have a slot open up, and so he must ask around the community leaders as to who he should appoint. And I think a lot of people recommend me, and then so he approached me and asked me to serve. So that's how it came about.
Great.
Do you still have family in China or Taiwan overseas?
We do have some family in Taiwan, but no more distant relatives. Yeah.
So you would say most of your family is in close touch in the States, or?
Well, we have a small family, so we just. My brother is in the New York area. My parents, after they retired, they moved to Houston, And then my father just passed away 3 years ago, so my mother is still here.
So how did you meet your wife?
That's we actually met each other. After the Whirlwind Drama Club, which is to produce the dramatic play in Mandarin. Then we followed, a few years later, we decided to do a Whirlwind choir. So we have a choir group that we meet every week at UH, a student center, and practicing songs. And so my wife finished her graduate degree, so he came to Houston to work, and he just came to join this choir group. That's how we met. Yeah.
And what is her profession?
She was a petroleum engineer. Mm-hmm. But later on, of course, he decided to go into law school. Mm-hmm.
So with both of you having demanding careers, I would say, did you find it hard to balance like work life and family life?
Well, I think it's always tough, but I think we manage because we know our priority. We always, when there is a conflict, family always comes first. I mean, especially my wife, when he's campaigning, there's a lot of things going on. But I think he always remember the family comes first. The campaign come and go, but the family stays with you for the rest of your life. Yeah.
So we can see that you're part of a lot of organizations. Mm-hmm. Can you talk more about what you do for CCC? Or how you found that organization?
CCC, the Chinese Community Center, of course, is really a very worthwhile nonprofit. It's the largest social service agency catering to Asian Americans in the southern states. So it really does a lot of good things. It's so like during the Harvey or other hurricanes, when they need a shelter, they open up the place. They serve as a shelter for them. One of the only Asian American place they serve as a shelter. They give help poor people to fill out the income tax forms free of charge. They provide summer camps. They of course have Chinese school. They even have Chinese. They have courses at the Asia Society teaching more practical Chinese in business. They have a child care center. So it's really taking care of people from young age to when you're getting old. Of course, a lot of elderly program they have. So I think when I was serving as the chair, and we are just starting out our newest project, which is we call it New Horizons, which is building a new senior center that allows us to handle many more people in a much better facility. So I think it took about $6 million to build that center. So we were able to raise that money in a record amount of time. So the center is now under construction. We expect it to be open either end of this year or the first of next year.
And what do you think motivated you to become active in organizations like this?
I think it's a piece of cake. I think first of all, I think making a difference is always one of my mottos. So So when I go into any board, and I kind of restricted myself to no more than 3 boards at any time, so I don't overextend myself. I don't just go to the board, just be part of the board and just sitting there doing nothing. My purpose is to go in, make a difference. Once I make a difference, I leave the board and go to another place. So that's always the way I approach things. So it's very easy. And so if somebody is doing something that's really of benefit, then I want to try to help them to do it better. But I think the other factor is, you feel blessed with what you have. So I think we're very lucky that we've got a great family. We are reasonably financially well off. And I think when you're feeling blessed, you need to think about others who are much less blessed than you are. And it's, I think, our responsibility to kind of help those that's less blessed, not because of themselves, just because of circumstances that's totally out of their control. Yeah.
Do you think that there are any specific issues in the community that you're particularly passionate about?
Yeah, I'm really more interested in helping the weak, the needy, those who cannot help themselves unless somebody gives them the support they need. Mm-hmm. So I know we are involved in Houston Grand Opera and all that, but that's really not my top goal. I will feel far better, contributing the $10,000 to Houston Grand Opera, which is peanuts compared to total thing. I want to make money, make an impact. I would rather contribute to a small charity that's making a difference, and you will make a far greater difference by doing that. So yeah, unfortunately you have to involve in some of the better known charitable organization, but I think my major interest is in the smaller nonprofits who are silently making a difference in our community.
Okay. So what would you say you spend your free time doing when you're not working or helping people like this?
Well, like I say, I love to read and write. Okay. I used to publish a lot of articles in the Chinese newspaper in Taiwan, which we sent to overseas. And eventually my father collected all those articles and published a book several years ago. No, but I think there are a lot of other things in life that I would envision myself doing. I love to take photos, so I think I would love to perfect my technique and just go around the world and catching some beautiful photos. I also think cooking is such an art, so if I have a chance, I probably will go to cooking school and learn that when I retire. Yeah, so I think a lot of things. Unfortunately, my time is kind of limited right now with the work and all the community activities. So it's tough to consistently have a block of time in doing something. Mm-hmm. But I think eventually that time will come.
So what are your goals for the future?
For the future? Mm-hmm. Continue to do. Well, I always think it's not how long you live that makes a life. It's what you pack into a life that counts. And we are all unique. So what we want to pack into our lives are all different. So the key thing is you want to make sure you are packing into that life things you love to do, things that are meaningful to you, rather than something that just happened to you or something that's the wish of somebody else and not your own self. So I think you have to be true to your heart to really do something you love to do. So I love to do what I'm doing now. I enjoy every day of my life. And so you talk about future goal. My future goal is to continue to do what I've been doing now. And you know, and I don't think getting old has anything to do with that. If you want to make a difference, you can do it anytime, any age.
Okay. So as someone who has lived in many different places, and as someone who's lived in Houston for so long, how do you think you would identify yourself? As American or Chinese American, Taiwanese American?
Oh, I always identify myself as both an American and a Chinese. Mm-hmm. So I feel I'm American because I live in this place longer than any place in the world. And my roots are basically here. Most of my friends are here. My family are all here. But deep down, I think I'm always a Chinese. And any issues that's related to that will help the Chinese Americans or even Chinese elsewhere. It's dear to my heart.
Do you have any advice for young Asian Americans?
I think that's pretty much what I just mentioned. Is you really, I think the problem with a lot of people is they are extremely talented. They have excellent academic records, but a lot of them I see nowadays is they still do not have a firm idea of what they want to do, what they want to accomplish out of life, and which is okay. I mean, as you go along life, eventually you'll find your passion. But I think, especially among Chinese American youngsters, I think commonly I see is a lot of them they are not really doing what they want to do. They are really doing what their parents want them to do, which is very unfortunate. You know, I've talked to several of them. They are pretty depressed. They are doing real well. But they feel like they are living to please their parents rather than doing what they want to do. So that's I think that's the wrong way. They are packing the wrong thing into their lives. You really want to do. It's your life. It's not your parents' life. Mm-hmm. So I think just find out what you're really passionate about. Don't even worry about the financially, whether it's okay or not. First of all, find your passion, okay? Then, if that passion will not generate enough financial reward to allow you to survive, then you find a job that you can survive, and then focus all your spare time on your passion. So you will never just let go your passion. I think it's your passion is what gives meaning to your life. It's what's going to make your each of your day meaningful and full of surprises and possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's a great note to end on. Do you have more questions?
Yeah, actually, like some follow-up questions on what you had mentioned before. But you said your father had published a book of the articles that you wrote for a Taiwanese journal or magazine. But what was the name of the book?
It's a Chinese name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you like to share it? Like you can write it down, or it doesn't have. You don't have to share it. It's up to you.
Oh, I can scan this and send it to you by email if you want.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's in Chinese. Yeah.
Okay. And up until like now, had you gone back to Taiwan to visit, or?
We haven't been back to China almost for. We've been back in China actually we've been to China several times. I think you were talking about back to Taiwan where we grew up. I just been there a couple times. I think one is 20 years ago. 20 years ago, my wife was recognized as one of the 10 most outstanding overseas Chinese. So I went back there with her to receive the award. And the Jackie Chan was among the 10 too during that year. So it was, that was a hot year. All the newspaper and reporters follow you along. Then a couple of years ago, I think my wife got we both got a prize, award for the Global Women's Business Organization. So they got a big gala in Taiwan, handed out the award. So we went back there. So that was nice. Taiwan has changed so much. And China, of course, it's just amazing. Yeah.
So how do you feel whenever you get these prizes and like rewards for doing basically what you're passionate about?
Really, it's just another award to us. We're really not doing it for the award. It's all this award is just totally surprise for us, and I don't say impact us in any significant way. We're glad to get it. I mean, it's not, but I don't think it changes how we look at things.
And I had like one last question on family. You have 2 sons, I believe. Okay, and you raised them with the same mindset of very liberal, like parenting style.
It's true.
Yeah. Okay. And did you instill like any traditions, like Chinese traditions, in them, or just let them, I guess, grow up in America?
Well, we're very blessed. I think both of them are. I think they just see us as example. We don't have to instill anything to them, but both of them are well behaved, have their own. We really can't ask for more. I think both of them are just superb. We don't force them to. We don't have to start hard. You don't have to be number one. You just learn what you have to study. But they all graduate at the top of the class. My younger son is actually at Rice right now. We don't purposely, talk about anything. I think just in your day-to-day conversation, you kind of touch on certain topics. But I think it's more they see how we conduct ourselves, and they kind of see that's the way they want to follow.
And then my last question is, I can't remember what it was. Oh, sorry. What would you say are your greatest achievements so far? Accomplishments so far?
Raising 2 good kids. Have a great family and a wife, and making at least some difference in the community I live. And able to kind of at least open some doors for Asian Americans in the political arena, by serving on the Harris County Hospital District as well as the Texas Medical Board, which I also was the first Asian American. And after that, they almost have an Asian American almost every year. So that's kind of forced them to start to look at diversity on such boards, which is good. So I think, so that will be what I'll be proud of.
And is there anything you would like to talk about that we haven't asked you about so far in the interview?
Not really. No, I don't have any specific thing to talk about. No.
Did you have any last questions?
No?
No.
All right.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr.
Oh, thank you
Chang,
so
for
much.
letting us interview you.